Hey, everybody.
Hey
Welcome
guys.
back. I am Zach, and with me, once again, the man who called himself the Fuckster right before we started, Arash.
There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you when I think of it, but there is a good reason for that.
Yeah. Well, we're here once again to talk about a new episode of Daredevil Born Again. And yeah, we're actually gonna start off with just recapping some of the Marvel news from the last week or so. Do you have anything to start us out with, or do you want me to go?
Now you can go first.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to talk about the Russo brothers denying about the concept art.
Hmm.
I think that was you made a video about it, but I'm pretty sure that was just them claiming deniability of like, oh, yeah, this isn't our vision specifically, but like it definitely was real concept art.
Yeah. It, um it was it was it has the exact look of concept art. It was by an MCU confirmed concept artist. There's no way it was just like fan stuff. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's definitely. I don't know if it was like, and well, it can't really be leftovers from King Dynasty because Doctor Doom was in the pictures, but
Yeah.
I do think it was real at some point. I don't know if we'll fully see it in the movie yet, but it looks like any other piece of concept art I've ever seen for an Avengers movie.
My biggest question is like that person thought it was okay to post those to Instagram.
It
Like,
was a mistake.
it was a mistake. Did they just have them in their drafts? Like, you had to go into your files and put them up there.
Well, I think what happened because it wasn't like in Instagram where you pick the pictures specifically when you upload. It's an art portfolio, so it could have
Hmm.
just been like, oh, I grouped these together because it was supposed to be Fantastic Four concept art.
Oh,
That's the folder
even
that
still,
it
that
was put
movie
under.
is that movie's still not out. Like, I
Yeah,
thought that
but
concept artists weren't really allowed to do
but
it until the
it
movie's just
depends
been
on what
out
the
for a while.
concept art is. If it's early pre-production concept art, and it depends on her deal with Disney. If they told her she could have put it on her portfolio, they could have been totally cool with that. But it was
But
supposed to be
still,
Fantastic Four concept art, and I'm sure just like some of the file names just got a little fucked up.
it's like, damn, dude, that's risky.
It
That's
is
like
risky,
That's
but
very risky.
also
Like, especially.
I don't think it's gonna
Mhm.
affect her career really. Because if anything,
Yeah.
what did she do? She got pressed for for Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yeah, I mean, if they show us just a little taste of what we can kind of see, maybe that would push fans a little bit more considering that well, my biggest problem is that Marvel hasn't really been like setting up the team dynamics and in the screenshots that we saw, like you got Star-Lord and Wong hanging out with the Young Avengers. Don't know how the fuck they're going to get together on that. Uh and even that it looks like the Young Avengers are actually going to be assembled in Doomsday for whatever reason, even
Well,
though
my kind of working theory right now is that after the Marvels, Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop are probably already working together at this point. Whether it's under a Young Avengers title or Champions, whatever they end up being called, I think they're doing something together at the moment, and maybe then we'll kind of get like, because I mean, honestly, do we need a big story for the Young Avengers?
no, we don't. But I'd still like a maybe a small team up, like something to show off their team dynamic before they get thrown into Doomsday, where they have to, fight off fucking Doctor Doom.
No,
At least something there.
I can kind of see where you're coming from with that, but
Hmm.
I don't. It can happen in Doomsday. I mean, if we're talking about like Avengers just kind of teaming up together who haven't worked together before, I mean, Infinity War put Thor together with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I guess so.
You weren't kind of like, well, wait, why do they work together now? Like you understood why they were working together for the most part.
Because we already knew their characters and we just kind of see their
Well, yeah,
dynamics
but
mixed together.
that's the thing. We do already know the characters for the most part. Miss Marvel has been in two separate projects already. Uh,
Hmm.
if we're talking about Kate Bishop, she had an entire show dedicated to her. And Cassie Lang,
Had a
Quantumania is not a
movie
great
with her
movie,
dad.
but yeah, it
Hmm.
it cemented her in the I think she's Stature. I don't think they actually name her character. She doesn't have
No,
a superhero alias in the MCU yet, but
no,
she'll be
it's just
Stature.
Cassie.
Yeah,
Just
that's what
Cassie.
all the marketing material says. It says Ant-Man, Wasp, Cassie. I have a cup in the other room that says that.
Um, my biggest complaint is that Iron Patriot, Ironland, or
Ironheart.
Iron, not Ironheart. She's getting her own show. Who's the Captain America kid dude?
Oh, I can't remember Isaiah Bradley's
His
grandson, right?
grandson. Yeah, yeah. He's
I
got
can't.
nothing.
Well, yeah, but he's not confirmed to be on that team yet.
Is he not?
No, he wasn't in that concept art.
Let me see the concept. We gotta see the concept art here, because
I mean,
okay,
if you
we
can
know
find it.
that.
It was really scrubbed off the internet. Let's see. First of all, I found a fake wiki. The Marvel Cinematic Universe fan and wiki has a fake
Hmm.
article for Young Avengers releasing the 10th of March 2025, and it's Peter Parker, Tom Holland led, followed by Morgan Stark, Richard Rider Nova, Sam Alexander Nova, Patriot, Eli Bradley. That's the character who you're thinking of. Kid Loki. What is this? Why does this exist? I mean, the logo's not bad, I guess. I don't think
Okay, I
that's
found it. So in the screenshot, we see from left to right, we see Wong, Star Lord, Kate Bishop, Cassie. I'm assuming who is that one girl from the Eternals?
Sprite.
Sprite in there. Weird addition, but okay. Um, and then the guy from fuck, the guy from Agatha All Along. What's his name?
Oh, you got Wiccan and Speed. That's who
Wiccan.
you're seeing there. That's not Sprite. That's Speed.
Is that Speed?
Yeah, he's wearing the costume.
Oh, I thought it's super blurry, but they're wearing all green, and Sprite wore all green in her Eternals outfit, so that's why I'm confusing one for the other.
I
Okay,
think
and
I
then Wiccan,
think I
and
might have
then
gotten rid of those photos.
and then Miss Marvel.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't have a huge problem with them just kind of assembling on the spot. Like if they want to make Doomsday the Young Avengers getting together for the first time, that's fine.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
I mean, so did the first Avengers movie. Kind of looking back on it now, they don't. As long as they introduced them before,
Well, not
the
even
only
that.
outlier here is Speed.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy and to a lesser extent Eternals kind of proves that you don't need individual origins for a team of characters.
No, I agree with you.
There can be just like the team assembling be its own movie. But let's carry on. Well, first of all, did you hear about Coyote versus Acme?
Yeah, I did. That some other company was looking to buy the rights, but
It
didn't
seems
Warner Brothers already claim it on their taxes so they can
no,
never
they
sell
just
it?
shelved it. They were going to
Oh,
cancel it completely, but then they decided to
okay,
just like sit on it for whatever reason.
because the movie's done, but
Well, the
whatever.
movie has finished filming. We know that, and there are some visual effects in there.
That still need to be finished.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm unsure what the situation's going to be. I think they are going to release it, but they released that Looney Tunes movie that came out last week that
Mm-hmm.
did super poorly because it had no marketing campaign.
Right.
So I'm a little nervous to see what that actually does when it gets in theaters.
Hmm. I mean, maybe people will watch it just purely off the controversy.
I
Like,
mean, that's the hope, but also the other movie had its own like Warner Brothers saying that they're not going to release it.
yeah. Then I don't really know what Warner Brothers is doing with Looney Tunes anymore. It looks like they're shutting down any movie that potentially gets greenlit,
Well, they also last week just removed everything Looney Tunes related off of Max.
which is weird. I mean, they took off Venture Bros too, but
It's
I understand that they hate
Looney
that show
Tunes is
too.
their flagship property. The Warner Brothers, like the whole branding of that studio is tied to the Looney Tunes. That is their Mickey Mouse.
And they're like, no, Space Jam was.
Well, like Space Jam is even Looney Tunes, though. It's just this. It doesn't make any sense to do this way. It would be like if Disney was just like, you know what, we're done with Mickey Mouse. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I I don't know what they're doing over there. I think that they're just like cutting costs until they just literally cannot, and then they get sold to Disney for like $5.
The thing is, Warner Brothers has been sold and merged with so many different companies over the last 2 decades alone that it's a miracle that they haven't been purchased by Disney yet. But let's jump right into I think that's all the news to talk about really. Let's jump into the episode though. Episode 4, Sic Semper Systema. What did you think of it?
I thought it was cool. I saw some reviews that said that this episode was a slow burn, and some people were kind of frustrated with the fact that they haven't seen Daredevil in like 4 episodes, or up until 4 episodes. But I called it, didn't I, Zach? Last week, didn't I call it? I said that
We both
episode
called
4.
it.
We both called it, but still, like, it felt vindicated as soon as Matt, like, word for word, basically walked in, saw his fucking helmets, and then just started fucking, practicing with his baton again. I'm like, fucking called it. We called it. We did it. We knew it.
I was feeling pretty good about that. But we were wrong about the biggest part of the episode, which was the return of Frank Castle.
And the cop. Yeah. It was more of a pep talk. An angry pep talk when he popped up.
So, my thoughts on the episode, I didn't mind that it was slow. I really liked all of the dialogue, I know a lot of people really didn't like the storyline of Matt Murdock getting involved with the petty larceny case. They were just like, oh, this is completely pointless. The White Tiger stuff made sense because at least it's like, I see his motive for protecting White Tiger, and it's like, the thing is, Matt Murdock is a public defendant.
Yeah.
Like he is going to defend anybody who needs representation. That's just what he does.
Yeah, he's not a corporate lawyer.
You have to think about for one thing, I think the strongest part of this episode is that conversation he has with the dude who stole the fiddle faddle. And you have to realize what that moment means for Matt Murdock. Well, to break down the episode kind of. So we have a couple different things going on. We have the aftermath of White Tiger dying, which was pretty much relegated to the opening scene, the cold open, the return of Frank Castle, and probably the conflict he had with Officer Powell. So that was kind of where that storyline was for this episode. As for the Kingpin stuff in this episode, like the leaked story and him getting closer with Michael Gandolfini's character, I thought that was like the bulk of the episode. That's what it felt like to me anyways. I think that was where most of the time was spent, which I was pretty open to because I do feel like we haven't gotten a lot of Wilson Fisk this season as much as we have of Matt Murdock anyways.
I feel like we've been getting an even amount.
I think even as far as like runtime for the season, but I think some of the episodes have been much more Matt centric.
I feel some of them have been more Fisk and side character centric than anything. Like whenever Matt pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot he's in the show for a bit.
Well,
I feel opposite.
Well,
Kinda.
it's less of a. It's just me scrubbing through the footage, I guess, when I'm like looking for thumbnails. I think that's why
And you
I
keep
noticed
seeing
it.
Vincent D'Onofrio's fucking face.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm looking through the entire episode, and I'm just like, man, there was a lot of Kingpin here. Which, like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. The Kingpin stuff is great in this show, and
Mhm.
I like how they're building up like his supporting cast really well too. Something we didn't super have with the Netflix show.
Mhm.
We didn't really get to. Rosh, did you take a Zoloft before we got started?
No. So I was reading the comments because I'm trying to like bank stuff for us to discuss later, so that we can get to that. But did I take a Zoloft? Get the fuck out of here! No, but I understand. Like the Kingpin stuff is pretty good. Could you repeat the last thing you said? I was reading a comment. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I think that what this show is doing better than the Netflix show is kind of building up Kingpin's supporting cast. Because
Michael Gandolfini, the aide, and all that.
Yeah, I've
Also,
always
Whoever Fisk. Sorry, go
No,
on.
I was gonna say I didn't really think that Kingpin had a really well developed supporting cast in the Netflix show, but I wonder if that's just because he kept killing everybody that he
Well,
would
yeah,
be around.
I imagine a lot of his underlings are probably a little too afraid to get to the close to the boss. When I don't know I don't remember whose head he took off with the car door, but that's where you're just like, hey man, I'm gonna do what you say, but I'm not gonna ask you like, hey, where did you grow up or what your favorite wing spot is. You know, I'm not gonna get close to you like that. I like my head. I don't want it being crushed by an SUV.
Yeah, I mean he does bring that mob boss energy to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we also have I guess you could call it the resolution, or at least the follow up to the Adam storyline.
That part I wanted to talk to you about because that scene means a little bit more because
Let's
the entire
say that specific part of it, just because that's how the episode ends. But the
uh-huh.
other big thing that happened in this episode was we got the first appearance of Muse. Well, not like the first. We have seen Muse in the earlier episodes, but this is the first time he's been completely
in costume,
Yeah.
doing serial killer stuff. Yeah. And also, did you notice the murals that just kept adding on people? Like you saw White Tiger, you see King. Do you notice that? They just keep adding on characters onto the
I said something in my
murals.
video like his presence has been felt since the beginning of the season, but
Mhm.
this is kind of the entry point for his character. I feel like I need to clarify some things I said in a couple videos, because I think, I mean, I don't know if it's the way I was representing myself, but I feel like people were really not listening to what I was saying anyways.
Go off, King. Go on.
Well, no, it is about the specifically, let's talk about the biggest part of this episode, which was the Frank Castle return. And something was off. I'm going to be honest. Something felt...
I felt it too.
Okay, so it's not just me. And then that
No.
was kind of my immediate reaction, was to make a video about it and kind of talk about like, oh, I just don't really know if this was the way to do this storyline, because it felt more like we were supposed to, like this was supposed to be a bigger moment. And we didn't really get that big moment where it's like, the Punisher is somebody who should not be okay with innocents dying, with heroes dying. And his reaction to just like, oh, it's just those fanboys of mine, just didn't feel right to me. Especially if he's still acting as the Punisher. If he was retired, I would get it. But they've made it pretty clear that he's still going out and killing people.
Did they? I felt like they're going on he's a semi-retired, kind of tired of it vibe. Like he's there, he's not really doing anything Punisher-y.
He's
really
trying to get Matt Murdock to put the horns back on.
Yeah, poking at the Foggy thing, and then like I'll say Charlie Cox really was like throwing it. He was just like, he got life. Like You could
Well,
feel it.
yeah,
I
but
felt like, oh, all right, there you go,
think
Charlie. Good
about
job.
yeah, think about what the Punisher was saying though. Like he was totally like, yeah, keep embrace it, embrace it. This is who you are. Like do it. Come on, and that's who the
They
Punisher is. So I think it's pretty. It seems pretty accurate to say that he's still acting as the Punisher.
Do you think that they were trying to like, that whole thing of like George Lucas saying like things rhyme and all that, where they were trying to recreate that rooftop argument between Matt and Punisher? Do you think they were trying to do that back and forth where they were just like spitting at each other?
So this is the part where I got into it with, well, not really got into it, but like I was kind of confused why people were so not understanding of what I was saying. Is the fact that John Bernthal, they released a Variety, I think, released an article yesterday that was
Uh-huh.
after the episode came out, where he was kind of talking about the fact that when the show was originally pitched to him as like the pre creative overhaul that they did, he
Yeah.
didn't want to be a part of it. He came back after the showrunner of the previous Punisher series on Netflix was the new showrunner of Born Again.
Okay.
And everybody was this is what it seems to be. Half of the people are telling us in the comments that these middle episodes are all going to be the stuff that they didn't reshoot. This is all the original footage. But then there's another half of the people who are saying, no, all of it's been reshot and it's all brand new. And here's the thing, we're not going to know until somebody behind the scenes starts speaking on it. But John Bernthal in that article said he didn't really like the direction of the character. He didn't feel like fans were really going to like the direction of the character. And that's kind of the vibes I got from his appearance here in this episode.
I kind of got that vibe too off of him. I felt like he feels a little. There's something that we're missing in his appearance. Like there was supposed to be something else. He feels like that when you walk in on him and he's all strung out and he's like he looks like he's over the hill and he's done. You feel like there should have been something more a little bit beforehand. Like we should have been cued in like Punisher's retired for a little bit or he's starting to think of quitting or something. Something happened to him. That's the
Right.
way he was acting to me.
And that's
Something
kind of
happened
what I
to
was
him.
getting at too. And I want to touch on some of the chat comments that we're seeing right now. I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to reveal the exact parts which were reshot. I know Disney is not going to do that, but somebody behind the scenes is going to let it leak. This is information that will come out whether Disney wants it to or not. Just like how you know the Fantastic Four movie from 10 years ago? Guarantee we are going to hear a lot about what actually happened behind the scenes in the next couple of years. Because after
Film people
NDAs
talk.
expire, like Disney
Film
can't
people
do
talk.
anything if somebody talks.
Yeah. I mean, you could just blacklist you, but if that person's just not working in the film industry anymore, but they work on the set, and how can you really hurt them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And also I see there's another comment here. It's an extremely long name and it's cut off, so I'm just not going to read it. It's on screen, though. I never liked the storyline where Punisher got angry about the cops using his logo. It's so out of character. I would think the Punisher, a crazy person, probably wouldn't care. And I'm going to try and explain why the Punisher, like, traditionally would care, is because he's not trying to create a social movement that's like, yeah, what the cops are pointless. We should just start killing criminals. Like, no, that is what the Punisher sees as like his burden. Like he has to do that because he has nothing left to lose. He has nothing to really he's atoning for the death of his family, essentially. He's not going to start encouraging like cops to start killing people. He'll push Daredevil to those levels. But also he'll pull back because he knows Daredevil, which we saw in this episode too. He was essentially like, you know what? If you do that out there, you're kind of becoming me. And that's just not who you are.
You're just one bad day away, Red.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when he said that? Yeah.
And that was his character development in that second season of Daredevil, was he essentially realized like, oh, not everybody has the same like morality and like can do this the way I do this. That's why the Punisher does what he does.
He punishes. He's a vigilante who delivers street justice. That's his whole point.
Exactly. Which also, it's funny. I just saw the 2 live action Punisher movies for the first time earlier this week.
I saw them on
last
your
weekend.
I saw them on your watch history on your Plex. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about them at the end. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say about that scene. Is it seems like it was the original version of the show, and then his later appearance. And what I was essentially saying is that in those videos I was a little disappointed that it seemed like this was the resolution that we got. Not that I think the storyline is resolved, but that this was the resolution to the Punisher finding out that cops are out using his iconography.
Do you think that they're gonna shelve that story for a little bit later, or do you think they're gonna save that for his special spotlight?
I think they're gonna come back to because we have this season remaining, and a second season where the Punisher is supposed to show up, and then his special. So I think what we're gonna be getting, and I'm tired of seeing the storyline. I hope it's the last time we see it after this is done. Of the Punisher trying not to be the Punisher anymore, and then just being brought back into it. We don't need to see that storyline anymore.
I am kind of tired of I'm kind of tired of the Spider-Man no more. Like, I'm tired of being this hero. Something happened.
It is a lot of people's major criticism about Matt this season, but I'm like, I kind of get it.
His friend died.
Yeah, his best friend died, and it was his fault.
Yeah, and Daredevil Born Again. Like, on top of the Catholic like inclinations, he's becoming Daredevil again for a brand new reason. Maybe he's adjusting his moral code because his best friend got shot in the chest by a crazy guy,
and he attempted to kill somebody out of anger.
Yeah,
that was
is
the big
he
reason.
Dead? Burger Time says, "Is he dead?" I'm assuming. Are they
Foggy?
Foggy?
Yeah, no. Foggy is in witness protection. He's coming back in season 2. Somebody tried to tell me it's a flashback. No, they're not going to announce him coming back for a flashback scene. Plus, if we haven't had a flashback already, why would we start getting them in season 2?
Right? Yeah. Why would we? What is this show? This show's gonna pull an Arrow? Are you kidding me? Is the show gonna start pulling an Arrow where it's like the flashbacks have their own story? No, I'm gonna be mad if they do that.
Daredevil,
Bullseye,
the Netflix show, did occasional flashback episodes, but they were always serving the story, which I think they could do, but I don't see why they would. Where do you get that Foggy is going to be back in season 2? Did the casting for that leak? Yeah, both Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Wall will be back in season 2. That's very confirmed.
Burger Time says Bullseye doesn't do a headshot. He could have, but that gives them like a little bit of wiggle room to be like, you know what? Maybe he didn't survive. When you do a headshot, you are confirming a character is dead.
I'm also going to
say
White Tiger, with the leaked photos from today of Deborah Ann Wall on the set of season 2, that witness protection storyline is looking much more likely.
Is it because she looks not like she does back in the first few seasons?
She's wearing a red wig.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they're leaning into a new point. Cool. Got it. Wait, there's set photos? I need to see this.
Yeah, they released earlier today. The other thing, one of the big moments of the episode is Matt defending Leroy Bradford for stealing the fiddle faddle. And
fucking fiddle faddle.
Yeah, and I was seeing some people say that the case seemed pointless. It didn't seem like it was worthy of having an entire episode kind of dedicated to it. And this is what I'm going to say. What that guy had to say to Matt about being a repeat offender is really like it was relevant to his decision to become Daredevil again. Listen to what he had to say. In the system, the way that they punish people just like doesn't make sense because it's like, yes, like being incarcerated for a certain amount of time is like a bad thing, but it not only does that, it not only ruins my life temporarily, it ruins my life in the long term too. And he's kind of getting he's getting pushback from the justice system that he's there to enforce. And it's got to be really disheartening.
Sorry, I'm seeing the set photo where they're undercover. Damn. She really isn't a fucking red wig. I thought you were meaning like a strawberry strawberry blonde red wig. No, she's in a red wig. That is that is not a fucking flashback. What the fuck? Unless it's during the snap. No, it wouldn't be.
No, this is her in disguise and Matt Murdock being incognito too.
Yeah. So something happens at the end of this season where they have to be on the run. So going back to the Fiddle Faddle guy and his whole deal. I think this episode set up multiple different points. There have been numerous points during this, like the first 3 episodes of the season and then this one, where everyone is basically, the entire universe is nudging Matt back into the shoes of Daredevil.
And it's exactly
like that, the whole thing.
Purpose of this storyline and of this character.
Matt's doing what he wants. He's trying the lawyer route. He's doing it. He's like, hey, I got you 10 days instead of probation. He's like, it doesn't matter if you got me 10 days instead of probation. The system's still fucked. It's fucking me.
But also, what that led him to his breaking point of returning to being Daredevil. It was like
a guy stealing caramel corn?
No, I'm talking about it led him to the breaking point. It led him to reuniting with Frank.
Yeah, and then Frank pushed him to finally put on back the mask and be like, you gotta go out there, Red. You gotta do it.
I'm looking at trivia for the character of Leroy Bradford. Bradford shares a first name with Leroy Anderson, who composed a piece of music named Fiddle Faddle, the type of popcorn which Bradford was charged with stealing.
Let's see. Benyana Friedman says, you guys were wrong 2 weeks ago. Frank knows Matt is Daredevil.
Yeah, I
got us on that one.
I'll admit, was covered in the Netflix seasons, though.
Did he ever?
I don't think so. I just rewatched it. I feel like I would have remembered that.
Okay. Anyways, this episode was by far the worst in the season. Yeah, don't know.
I'd say it's the worst in the season, but I'm not saying that as a overall mark of quality on the series overall or on the episode. Because I enjoyed this episode. It's just it wasn't my favorite episode so far because I didn't really like what they were doing with Frank.
It wasn't your favorite episode so far, like that Simpsons meme. But we have to wait. We got to get past judgment on it once like all the episodes come out, and then we can see, how they structurally fit into the entire season in general. Like what episode is the odd man out?
I don't know.
Which one had
like it's so hard because I wanted to like the scene with Frank so much. And there were issues I had with it, with his characterization.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing right there. Is just like, I hope we see some kind of evolution of the character, but right now it's just it seemed off, as I've said. But I did really like everything else around it. The Muse stuff was super cool and creepy.
I had a observation or a complaint, I assume, is that during the Fiddle Faddle fucking storyline, I'm so sick of having to call it that, but he's stealing fucking popcorn. But that's not the point. It's a petty crime, right? It's a stupid fucking petty crime that he shouldn't really even be arrested and thrown in jail for because he stole fucking popcorn, but he still stole something. But
it was
I feel like a
a repeat offender.
Yeah. with the character's demeanor, I feel like a lot of the people who are watching that character and that certain thing, like that character is not meant to be exactly a lovable fucking goofball. He's a guy who's extremely down on hard on his luck, and the system has been failing him multiple times. And yes, like a fucking random blind lawyer coming in being like, "Hey, I can't get you probation. I can get you 10 days," and he's frustrated with that. And then he says his frustrations. I feel like some of the people watching that episode won't exactly get the subtext that the writers are trying to paint. That it's an overall more meta thing. That the system at its worst is we're in a place where a guy is down on his luck. He has no money. He has no support systems, and we're throwing him in jail because of like stealing popcorn because he was hungry, and he wanted something, at least a treat. But we're throwing him in jail for that. And some people are just be like, well, you did the crime, you do the time, and all that. So I don't know. Well, that kind of deal.
Yeah, that is kind of what you were saying is spot on. People are missing the subtext of the scene because they're looking at it like, why am I watching this? Like, White Tiger made sense. That made sense why it would be pushing Matt in this direction. This is just like you said, petty larceny. Like, but here's the thing too, is that we needed to see just a normal person getting screwed by the system that Matt is supposed to be enforcing. Whereas when he's Daredevil, it's like he takes it out harder on the criminals probably, but also the regular people that he would run into in that situation, like he wouldn't go after that guy.
He wouldn't. Yeah, not at all. He would not. He's the kind of guy who's just like, guy stealing popcorn, gives him like maybe a little bit of a stern talking to, but if he senses that he's kind of down on his luck, maybe he'll let him walk by on it and says, hey, there's support systems that you can go through this. Please just try not to do crime. Versus like, cops wearing a Daredevil or fucking Punisher logo on themselves, like trying to kill a witness, then he'll just fucking snap their fucking necks. There's a duality there of like.
It makes me think of in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We just had that episode where he returned
the pizza theft.
The pizza theft, yeah. And he was essentially like, yeah, but could you help this person out? Because, I mean, like, they were just kind of in a tough situation. It's the same concept. It's just we're seeing it play out in a different way. It's not the hero running into that situation where they feel like they have a sense of authority to say this. It is Matt Murdock having this information and being the one who has to protect this guy.
Did you notice also the duality between the two cases that Matt has taken on this season? The White Tiger case was a little bit more publicized. It was a little bit more higher end. The stakes were larger. He was actually in a jury trial. Like it was a very gray case, but black and white to him. But to the public justice system, this guy is a vigilante. And then when he got acquitted, the system still came back and shot him in the head, and no one is taking responsibility for it. Versus the case with the popcorn thief, where it's a small do-nothing case. It's basically a traffic ticket, and the guy's still getting screwed by the system. No matter which end it is, you could be completely vindicated and go through the system like it's supposed to be gone through and acquitted by your peers, and you still get punished for it because you made the cops look bad. Versus the popcorn thief, where he went through the justice system, but he's still getting screwed by it, even if he's getting a smaller little do-nothing 10 days in jail that Matt got him. So that's what Matt's seeing. He's frustrated.
This is a
with
video idea right now.
It is. It's a video idea. I'm probably going to write it down and probably going to handle it. Or if you want, you can take it as well if you want to explore it. But
you literally just have to copy and paste what you just said.
So it's both those cases that Matt is taking on. A huger case where it's publicized. The mayor is even looking into it. Hector Ayala got off, got acquitted. The system did what it was supposed to do. And the first night he went out, he got shot in the face by somebody. And no one's taking accountability for it. Now his family's just gone, or now his family's just broken for no reason because he pissed off a bunch of cops. And no one wants to take any responsibility. And then the fiddle faddle guy. He couldn't get food stamps because he missed something, but they couldn't. It's just bad. The system is bad, and that's what they're trying to paint. And then they're like, so the system needs a Daredevil, somebody who's not wrapped up in legal red tape. Even Kingpin has to deal with all the red tape of government and bureaucracy.
Yeah, isn't that funny how they're covering both sides of that right now?
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Kingpin wants to rebuild the whole thing. And he's like, "We're gonna do it. Start." And then he tells Michael Gandolfini, like, start a press conference. And then the lady's like, no, you can't do it that way. You have to talk to the people, put it on the agenda. You have to wait for them to discuss it in the agenda. Then you have to do this, and then you have to do that, and then you have to do this. And he's like, okay, where do we get started on it?
Yeah, I thought
that's not the way that
funny.
He likes doing it.
Like, he got elected, and he just knows absolutely nothing about the process of getting anything done. And he's just like, and then that's the first step, right? Like that's what we have to do. Then let's.
And then
do
she's
that.
like, no, you have to put it on the docket. Is that the next step? Yes. Okay, then please do it.
That made me chuckle when I was watching. But yeah, we have Fiddle Faddle guy. We had let's talk a little bit about the Kingpin stuff. The him yelling at the staff. It kind of made me laugh, but not in like oh, this is so silly way. It was more like, God damn, I'm just trying to put myself in these people's shoes right now. Like, they're getting yelled at by the Kingpin, and then Michael Gandolfini is just like, I wonder if he's gonna be Muse.
I think the guy that you said earlier is gonna be Muse. The guy who went up to that lady in the book signing, who seemed really on edge.
No, I think that's a red herring, though. But I'm
a red herring?
Because, like, dude was fearless when he was approached by Fisk, right at the end there.
I think he's just... He just might be, very, very loyal. He just really wants to work in Fisk's America.
I'm just saying
Fisk's New York City.
That is one of my theories. One of the other ones was during the marriage counseling appointment, they're talking about Adam, and she's just like, oh yeah, he was such a beautiful artist. And I was just like, all right, like, is he Muse then?
But he's locked in the basement.
Yeah, so he can't be.
He can't be. He has a beard, and he's screaming at Fisk to let him out. And you could tell he's probably been down there for months.
He's in the Evil Dead remake.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's the one who like reads back the book, but yeah, and I see. So somebody else is saying, oh, it's definitely the book signing guy because the eyes were the same. I saw somebody say the jawline matches, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not denying that that's true, but that is the least fun person it could be.
Yeah, it's not the Scooby-Doo mystery thing where it's like, oh my God, Michael Gandolfini. Like, that would be funner than oh no, the random incel.
Well,
I guess that's
now
it.
What I'm wondering is, are they even going to reveal a secret identity? Because in the comics, he doesn't have an alias.
Maybe. I assume that they're going to try to keep that more closer to the chest, because he's more scarier if you don't know that he's random dude 123.
Yeah.
Like, who like serial killers, from listening to a lot of true crime documentaries, they're more terrifying when their motives are a mystery. Once you remove that mystique,
horror movie character also.
That too. Michael Myers was scarier when you didn't realize. Well, no. He's not a good example. Jason Voorhees was a better example. He's more
Michael
scarier
Myers
when you realize.
Example.
Was he really?
Yeah, because they're the one who they ruined with backstory and everything.
Yeah.
It was cooler when he was just like, he's a dude who just killed, and you didn't know why. That's why he was scary.
He was just evil behind the mask. There was no reason. He's just
then there's
born
a bunch
evil.
Of dumb reasons where it's like, oh, it's because he's trying to kill his family, and then it's like, oh, then a cult is telling him what to do, and it's like, okay, you made this progressively stupid, but let's get off this. Okay,
we could go all night with it. But so Muse being mysterious adds more. I think they shouldn't reveal who he is, or if anything, don't say anything about the kid.
Have you
Don't
ever
say
seen a
anything if you
picture?
even unmask him.
Have you ever seen a picture of Muse unmasked on like Google or whatever?
Yeah, he looks all like
He looks like Gore the
decrepit.
God Butcher.
Yeah, he does. He looks exactly like Gore the God Butcher, and considering they're in the same universe, maybe it's Gore. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
He
he's
died.
back and he's just like killing people and painting for some reason.
He's
Uh,
like he's not going after his daughter who Thor is taking care of right now, which they have not visited that shit in forever, by the way. Anyway,
we haven't seen Thor yet. He's off doing his thing right now.
he's being a dad.
Yeah, he's being a dad. I'm
He's
trying to figure out. Oh, the conversation Matt Murdock has with Powell. Was he telling the truth?
The cop.
Yeah.
You could tell that Matt noticed something was up with his heart rate. Maybe
it wasn't increasing.
Was it the language that he was using? Maybe he said it wasn't him that did it, but he probably knows someone who did it.
No, he said directly, like, I don't know anything about it. Like,
I don't know nothing about
I didn't do it. And I don't know anything about it.
Then at that case, we're probably going to figure out like who did it by the end of the season. Like that, the Punisher cops is definitely like a plot line they got to wrap up in the next 3 episodes, maybe.
Well, what I'm wondering is it a kind of plausible deniability thing where they're like taking turns, basically, like, okay, somebody's gonna go out and do it, but I'm not gonna know who did it, and everybody else here isn't gonna know who did it. That way,
You mean the Scream way?
The Scream way,
where there's like more than one killer?
Well, I mean, we know for a fact there's more than one cop who is a fan of the Punisher, but what I'm saying is that they have it set up where it's like, all right, everybody is going to pick a card, and you're going to know, like Werewolf, basically. You're going to know whether or not you went out and did the murder, but everybody else here isn't going to know.
Right. Okay.
That way, if one of us gets taken in, we can't say, like, who did what at this point.
Yeah, it covers up the tracks preemptively.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my idea.
Everyone draw straws. No one else tell the person that you have the shortest straw. Just go do it.
Exactly.
And when it's done, that's it. And also, nobody else hang out with each other during the night of. So we all like assume that we're watching movies or some junk.
So my next thing is Fisk involved with the crime operation still.
I'm gonna say yes, but very late off. The thing is, remember when he was talking to the people down at the docks and he said that, and his right-hand man said, like, the other bosses are causing, like, havoc, and in order for you to get your job done, one of them has to be arrested or killed?
Yeah.
So I assume, like, for Fisk to really get stuff done, especially in the crime aspect, that's the world that he knows best. So he probably knows, like, how to handle that kind of thing. So I imagine... Also, with him going down and eating while having Adam like just like chained up in the thing, that evil Fisk is still there. He's not gone. We never doubted it for a second. We were just waiting for him to pop.
This is what I think. So we know that he is dealing with those families, but to me, Kingpin is not send somebody in and kill them all. It's more of a game of chess where it's like, all right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pin these two families against each other, and then we're going to get the cops involved and get them in there, and we're going to leak this information to the Punisher and let the Punisher take care of it. Like, something like that.
Where he's a little bit more Machiavellian?
Yeah, he's letting Vanessa handle all, like, the day-to-day, whatever she's doing. Which is also why he wants to keep her around at this point, because you've got to think, like, he's the mayor of New York City now. If he's caught with any of the degenerates that she hangs out with, he's kind of SOL.
Yeah, you can't, when you're in that kind of position of power, you can't even be remotely close to it, because then, stuff happens and...
Exactly.
You have to basically answer for it, no matter how broken this system is. Although I feel like maybe the Daredevil writers are going to be a little bit more topical with being like, yeah, no, Punisher's still openly doing crimes. Like, what the fuck are they going to do about it? Technically, the new mayor of New York City is also doing the fucking same thing, but nobody wants to fucking get him on the lam.
So, and I think that brings us to the final thing in this episode I wanted to talk about, which is the opening conversation between Matt Murdock and I believe it's Angela Del Toro. She's the second White Tiger. So
she wanted to go see her Theo. Yeah.
Right. So I saw somebody say this in the chat, and I read it in a couple comments earlier today, and I haven't had a chance to go back to the episode and check it. But apparently the medallion like the eyes light up when she grabs it, which I wonder if that might just be like a lighting thing.
Do we have to scroll back and check on that?
I might do that right now, but what do you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see it light up when she grabbed it. I was more distracted by the fact that she came in and she was kind of angry, but I was like, okay, she's grieving because like her uncle got shot. It was her uncle, right? Not her dad?
Yeah. Yes, that is his niece.
Yeah, her uncle got shot and no one's doing anything about it. And the lawyer that tried, it was basically... I was more focused on that. I didn't really focus on her grabbing the medallion.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I'm scrolling back through it right now. I don't know if they'll... I mean, it seems like they were hinting at it, like her being the next White Tiger. But I don't know, because Ayala is so well known as the character to modern audiences now.
Mm-hmm.
And she would be older because she's Hector's sister, not a daughter or a niece. I don't know. It's just it would be a weird choice unless they're trying to rope Angela in with the Young Avengers that they're doing.
And from the concept art that we saw, I don't necessarily think they have any more room on that team. Or we give it a couple more years. Maybe we'll see her in the final fight in Secret Wars.
I think there's quite a few slots left in that scene. I'm scrubbing through the footage right now. All right, let's see.
Burger Time says Kingpin is Muse. Just kidding. Yeah, between all the meetings. Did you... I thought one thing I thought that was really fucking funny during the episode was Kingpin like listening to those kids sing.
There was
a
news article about that. Apparently they had to reshoot it several times because the kids were too on key.
Serious? Yeah. And the whole joke of the scene
before we started, and I wrote it down, and I forgot that part happened, but that was.
I'm gonna be honest.
Part.
I'm gonna be honest. I chuckled when they were like, "Okay, kids, next song." He's like, "No, wait, no. I have to get out of here." But the city never sleeps. And I was like, "What the fuck are you saying, Kingpin? Just get the fuck out of there."
They don't even when she takes the evidence bag. They don't even show the amulet.
Told you. I didn't pay attention because I couldn't see it.
Well, no, I mean, like, they just... It's not even just, like, a you couldn't see it type thing. It's just that nobody can see it because it's... It's in the wrapping.
So it's just... They're just brushing it over.
When the dude from the evidence thing, like, wraps it up, the amulet moves towards the light, and you could see the glare in the eyes, but yeah, that's it.
No, yeah. So,
yeah, not the most.
I think they're just wrapping up the White Tiger stuff. We're not going to see it for a while now.
I could see it happening next season or in the near future.
Maybe pull it up
if they are doing like a Young Avengers TV show, which they very well could be.
They'd have to all be based in like New York City, though.
Is that a problem for Marvel?
having the Hector Ayala's like family move out somewhere where all the young Avengers are coincidentally next
No,
to
I
each
mean
other?
like they're
Probably
already
not.
in New York for the most part. I mean Cassie Lang is in San Francisco, but like they pretty much figured out like travel
Who's
as
to
this
say
goes.
Cassie doesn't make friends with, you know, uh, with Karen? Because Karen's in San Francisco, right?
Karen. Yes. Okay. Yes. I was like,
Yeah,
who is Karen? And then I realized you meant Karen Page, and I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, what young Avenger is that? One thing I will say is somebody tried to tell me that Miss Marvel or the Khan family doesn't live in Jersey City anymore. They live in Louisiana. Incorrect. That is Carol Danvers' house. That's not the
Yeah,
Khans
she
are
was
not living
visiting.
there. Yeah, they were just helping her move in.
Zach, I'll be entirely honest with you. I still haven't seen the Marvels.
Arash, this is your job.
I know. I still haven't seen it.
It's
I don't
not
know why.
bad. I don't. It's a totally fine movie. It's not like groundbreaking, but it's fun.
I had to do a little bit of research last night for the Secret Invasion stuff that I was talking
I
about.
was almost about to send you a text, and then you said something, and I was like, "All right, you win this round."
Is it because you were watching through and you were just like, wait, they were in the Marvels? I was like, yeah, but they were in the Marvels, but I don't think that anyone really in New York City gives a shit what happens in space. I covered my ass preemptively. I'm going to be honest, that wasn't the first draft of that recording that I did. I did 3 recordings that night because I kept catching myself doing mistakes and I had to cover up bits so you can see where I did it.
But oh yeah,
But I
that was
did it.
another thing. We did get a scroll mention, which I thought was fun.
Yeah,
Um, Besides that,
did a whole
though,
video on
like
it.
not the best episode this season, in my opinion. I think that there's a good basis for things to come. I'm excited to see what happens next week. We got 2 episodes next week. That's really
We also
exciting.
finally have Matt like gearing up again. So, suit up time.
Watch next episode. The entire build up to the second episode that comes out next week is just Matt's putting on the suit slowly, and they just keep cutting to like Kingpin doing things. Then he puts on another boot, and then another gauntlet, and they just build it up the entire episode.
He's like, now I'm dressed. I'm like, okay, Matt, you took 45 fucking minutes to get dressed. What are you dressing for a wedding?
I see in the chat talking about was the show originally supposed to be a comedy? I don't think that's true. I think it was probably just as comedic as any other Marvel project for the most part. But from what I've heard, the creative overhaul was just the decision to make it more connected to the Netflix series. It wasn't to make it less funny or to make it darker or grittier or anything like that. It was simply because they weren't going to connect it to the Netflix shows, and they've decided to do so. That's even what John Bernthal said.
They were. It's a continuation. That's
Now it
all they're
is.
saying.
Before, I think it was supposed to be like a soft reboot. Like the Netflix stuff happened like if you wanted it to, but it's like we're never going to talk about it. We're not going to reference it, that kind of
Stick's
thing.
not coming back. Sorry.
Yeah, but now it's no, I think it works better connected, I'm going to be honest. Originally, I was like on board cuz I was kind of like, all right, some of the Netflix stuff was iffy to bad sometimes. Like Iron Fist season 1 was really really bad. I don't know if I've ever actually seen all of Iron Fist season 1.
Aha! Aha! This is your job, Zach.
No, but they cut it out of continuity before like a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Same thing with
All
like
right, this is
Agents
your-
of Shield and like all those shows. Like I didn't watch them because they're not canon. Or
They're
at
not
least
really
not
as
right
important.
now.
Okay. I guess not watching an 8 season like ABC TV show. Like, did you even watch what is it called? Peggy Carter?
Yeah, I did watch that show. Agent Carter.
Fuck, then you win this time.
Agent Carter is good.
Agent Carter. There we go.
No, that's an actual like that show was so good, and then it didn't get the viewers that it needed.
Mhm.
And everybody tries
Damn.
to say that Captain Carter is like an industry plant character that nobody like Peggy Carter. Nobody cares about Peggy Carter. I'm like, have you ever seen Agent Carter? Like people loved that show when it's on. Disney needs to promote it more though, because it's great. I see conversation in the chat right now. Isn't Stick dead already? I believe he died in the Defenders. And Maggie Murdock is still alive.
Oh yeah, Stick did die. I forgot about that. Everything in the Netflix verse was meh except for Daredevil. I wouldn't say so. I liked Luke
First
Cage.
season of Jessica Jones a lot.
Jessica Jones first season. I watched it purely.
All right.
I watched it purely because of David Tennant's villain character. I wanted to see him in a villain role.
The Defenders
after watching him be
was
the
a
Doctor for so
massive
long.
disappointment though. Like that, I was so excited for the Defenders because I was like, all right, this is going to be street level Avengers, and then it was just pretty boring and underwhelming.
How'd they fuck that up?
I don't know. It's well, they connected it too heavily to Iron Fist season 1 and Daredevil season 2.
Okay, the hand.
It's kind of a natural extension onto the plot lines of those shows.
Okay.
With the hand, but also New York City was built on the foundations of a dragon, so that's canon in the MCU now.
Fuck, are you serious?
Yes,
I didn't see that part.
The
Okay.
Defenders is about.
Whew.
And I liked Punisher. Punisher season 1 and 2 were solid.
Yeah, the no, wait, it's still a pretty good meme.
Is that from Daredevil though?
No, that's from Punisher.
Oh, okay.
It's the one where like I think somebody has like he's sitting at a dinner and then he sees a bunch of military people like taking out his family. He's like, no, wait.
Oh,
hey.
Oh yes, I do remember that now. Okay, I'm
wait.
Punisher.
Pretty good.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about this episode. I liked it.
Can I have a lasting thing, but this isn't necessary. Okay. Can I just say they gave Matt Murdock so much fucking charm. Did you see him working his like fucking skill on that?
The Riz.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like this guy can charm himself in a fucking conversation. Did Stick give him fucking like dating tips? What the fuck is this?
Did you see there was a tweet earlier that was like that clip, and it was just like the way he could just like charm his way into bed with this girl, and somebody retweeted it and said, dude already has a hot girlfriend at home.
Yeah. He already does. Like dude is crazy. I wish I had that level. He banged She-Hulk at this point. Did he already bang Karen?
Or
Matt?
not? Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, it's a lot. He's doing. He's probably the most charismatic dude in the entire MCU at this point. Seriously.
Well,
next to Tony.
He is.
Next to Tony.
Well, I mean, he's slept his way across teams at this point.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that good point. Again, not my favorite episode of the season. Probably my least favorite episode of the season so far.
So far.
Well, I'm just saying so far because I don't know what the next couple episodes hold. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I mean, we're gonna get Daredeviling himself all over the place. Timeline wise, is DD Born Again before or after She-Hulk?
After.
After? Oh.
Yeah, it's after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because all of his tailored suits in the thing. That's from the tailor guy.
But also the timeline of it currently. They've said it's after She-Hulk and No Way Home.
Oh, so you can check on Disney Plus.
No Way Home is mid to late 2024. She-Hulk is 2025. Daredevil Born Again starts at the end of. I'm sorry, Daredevil Born Again starts at the end of 2025 when Foggy is killed. Jumps to November 2026 when Fisk is elected. Now we're in early 2027 because we saw New Year's Eve come. I did a video about this.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
That's all I got
liked
to. I
it.
think we squeezed everything out of this episode.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was good. But
We got 2 big boy episodes to look forward to next
we
week.
do. I'm excited for those because it's gonna be. I've already said it. I think we've gotten every piece of footage from the trailer that
Up until this point, so everything else is
anything
just
plot sensitive for the most part. We've seen it all already. So
Didn't we see Matt fight Muse or no?
we saw like 2 kicks in the he throws out his billy club, pulls it forward, and then he kicks, and I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I thought it was White Tiger that he was fighting. I assumed it was one of those. They punch for a bit and then they're friends.
Yeah.
But I watched the Punisher live action movies earlier last weekend, and the first one is not good. It's not a good movie.
Is that the one where the guy ends up becoming Jigsaw because
No.
he falls into a vat of broken glass, or is that the second one?
That is Punisher Warzone, and I watched that immediately after, ready to hate that too. That movie is awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, there's a couple dudes who are a gang of people that do parkour, and one of them jumps over a roof and just gets hit with a grenade launcher mid jump.
Oh man, I kind of wish Marvel. How do you think Marvel's gonna handle if they bring Punisher into that and like because they're gonna have like an Endgame style Secret Wars fight, right? And if they bring Punisher into it, how do you think are they just gonna bring him out there with an assault rifle like Bucky?
Have you ever read the Secret Wars comic run?
No.
This is what happens in it. All right.
Okay.
So this is in issue 1 also, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling much.
Okay.
So the big buildup is that the Ultimate Universe is clashing with the Earth 616. All of the battles going on outside. All of the heroes are like fighting amongst each other. Meanwhile, all of the street level Z-list villains of the Marvel Universe are all in an apartment together, like a penthouse apartment, celebrating, and then they're just like, yeah, who invited us here anyway? And then the door kicks open and it's the Punisher with a couple guns, and it's implied that he just killed everybody there.
That's great. They might not they probably won't do that in the Secret Wars, but that'd be funny.
They don't show anything in the comic.
They got the fucking frog dude from She-Hulk just popping up in that apartment too.
Oh, he's not really a villain though.
Yeah, he's more of a wannabe.
I just found the panel. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Wasn't he trying to be a hero or something, or was he?
Yeah, he wanted to be a superhero, and then he kidnapped that dude after he lost that lawsuit. I just sent you the panel.
Okay.
What does he say in it? Exactly what am I gonna do with all these bullets?
Exactly what am I gonna do with all these bullets? Let's see. Link you and me and drink the glory. And thusly with drinks and joy and blah blah blah. Please join me for the most rancorous celebration. Wait, Kingpin's in there. You said Z-level villains.
I said it was street level.
Oh, street level. She said Z-level. I was like, what the fuck?
I said it's a bunch of street level villains all like in a penthouse partying together with
Is that Norman Osborn in there?
I think that's supposed to be Sandman.
Oh, yeah, it is Sandman. Yeah. Yep, Bullseye, all that. Gentlemen, they say that when you die, you can take it with you, which begs the question. Exactly. What am I going to do?
I don't love Secret Wars as a story. Like, I think it's all right, but that panel is the best thing to come out of it.
That's pretty great.
All right, but I think that's gonna do us for this week of Daredevil Born Again. We don't have a title for these. Daredevil Again. I almost said Born Along. Daredevil Born Again discussions. We'll be back next week for episodes 5 and 6. Episode titles to be determined. And yeah, we'll be right back here at the exact same time. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for all of your feedback in the comments of our videos, in the chat right now. Really enjoy it. I like looking at everything, even if it's negative. But thank you so much for coming out, and have a great rest of your night.
Later, gang.